Hello everyone, welcome back to Lego Transformers. I did some more of these and I wanted to show them off. This is a new Dino squad that I made, not based on any of the actual Dinobots. These are all unique creations. Anyway, their names. This is Rye, Tug, Arrow, and Zilla. So, this is their dinosaur modes, obviously being pterodactyl, some form of raptor, not a triceratops and a T-Rex. So, yeah, let's get transforming. Before we start transforming, actually, I wanted to say a couple things. First of all, I got really sick for like 2 weeks in a row, and I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't record, obviously. And then I got my second dose of the COVID vaccine, and that made me feel even sicker, so that I didn't record for even longer. But here we are now, and I'm ready to record. One more thing. Right before I started recording, I checked out my channel. Guys, we're at 100 subscribers, and I am so excited. You guys are the best. I will think of something exciting to do soon. I just don't know what yet, but prepare for a 100 subscriber special. So, yeah, thank you, everyone. And now we can transform. Alright, so we're going to start off with Arrow, the pterodactyl, I'm going to say in quotes. Unlike the original Dinobots, these are kind of more, they are definitely dinosaurs, but they've got some more alien and robot parts to them. For example, he does have these blasters on his wings, which I do like to fold forward for, I guess, secrecy. They kind of look like just generic wing spikes. I'm trying to find the best way to hold him. You can see as much as you can. You can get him into a good flying pose. And then he does just have the big wings. He does have little hands right here, the little red ones on the side. And then his feet in the back, which you can kind of use to have him perch, though he's just not the best at standing. So let's move on to articulation in dinosaur mode. The head of the dinosaur can look down, a little bit up. It's a bit stopped by this plate though. Now it can move on this hinge too, but that hinge is more for transformation. The wings here, I'm gonna hold them like this, move up and down just on this pin. Go to the back, the tail is on a ball joint, so it has quite a bit of motion. And then the feet just move up and down. Yeah, so that's pretty simple. And then the hands don't really move. I guess you could move this, but that reveals this quite a bit, which is supposed to be flat with the wing, just to hide it as much as possible. But you could, like, twist the hands, I guess. But admittedly, the hands were kind of just there, added last minute for realism, I guess. His eye is kind of just like a visor. It's just one piece instead of two separate eyes. Oh, sorry, there. And I think that gives him a nice look. I like the beak, how I did this ridge. I think that gives it just a bit more character, I guess. Instead of just being a long, flat beak, he's got a bit of a cool looking one. Now, obviously, if you look up a realistic picture of a pterodactyl, this is not what it looks like at all. But remember, once again, these are supposed to be more like Cybertronian dinosaurs, I guess. They are not specifically, they take inspirations from real dinosaurs, but they're not completely based on those. So yeah, that is it. I should give you a full look. You can see his bottom, which has a little bit of robot down there. The top, I like a lot. I use these nice pieces, once again, to make it look a bit more robot-like. And admittedly, it's fine that it looks more like a weird alien dragon, or, sorry, alien dinosaur, because if you saw an alien, or, sorry, if you saw a pterodactyl flying around your home anyway, you would be confused, so they don't really need to blend in like the others do. Yeah, so that's Arrow. He doesn't have a bad dinosaur mode, but his robot mode's not my favorite, so that's why he's probably my least favorite. Anyway, let's transform him. First of all, we have this neck joint. You're going to push the head all the way up, and then just fold the head along the back. And then while we're here, we're also going to point the tail all the way back. Then we can come down to his dinosaur feet, which will become human feet, or robot feet. You're going to straighten that out and just hinge those out like that to be his normal feet. And then you can see he's going to stand up like this. Just for now, we're going to fold to those wings back. And then you're going to come here and grab his dinosaur hands and just twist them out. And then you're just going to move his arms around, fold the wings back up, and then he just has more blasters for his arms. He doesn't really stand. But yeah, there is Arrow in his robot form. You can see he has the little orange head. Admittedly, that was kind of just there. I needed to have it fold in enough that it would hide. He still has full use of his wings, so he can fly. And he is pretty armed. Not only are his entire hands just blasters, but he still has great use of the ones on his wings if he was like flying like after an enemy. So yeah, that's cool. He doesn't stand the greatest still. I don't know why, but his feet, he's a bit back heavy with the tail. You can use the tail to support him a little bit. Stand. Haha. There he is standing. So yeah, anyway, that's it. And that is Arrow. Oh, wait, nope, never mind. Oh, you fell. Articulation. So the feet move forward and back. You can like get him a little bit of a weird side kick, but that's more for transformation. Tail is still there. It wiggles. Wings still wiggle. And then the arms can move like that, back and forth. You could also twist this T-joint, but it's a bit, doesn't like to move very much, so that's a bit hard to move it. But anyway, yeah, that is Arrow. Now we can move on to Tug, the Triceratops. I like him a lot. He is the tank of the group, I guess you could say. I think he might be my favorite, just personally. Yeah, you can see I got the Triceratops crest in there with a little bit of spikeage, but that's kind of just joints for transformation. He does have the 3 horns they're named for. The joint in his neck is very weak, as you can see every time I touch him. His head just falls. If I had a stronger joint, that would not happen. He has 2 feet. The first are kind of just large spikes, and then the back 2 are just triangles. But all of his legs just move forward and back, but these 2 do move a bit worse because they're ratchet joints, but he kind of needs that strength. We can look onto the top. These things right here, as you can tell, are totally not his robot arms at all, so don't ask. Keep going to articulation. His tail moves up and down, and I kind of like the end of that. And then his head just moves down. He can't really look up. You'd have to stand on his back legs to look up, but that just looks odd. So yeah, let's move on to transformation. And he might actually be tied with another for the most complicated transformation. 2 of them are rather simple, and then the other 2 are quite complex. Anyway, what we're going to do first is come to his knot hands and break just take this out and then fold them out to the sides just to get them out of the way. And then we can come here, pull this spike forward, and flatten out the back. Now we can pull these back legs forward to become robot legs, and then put the tail between the legs to support the back. Take these legs and fold them down to the sides, like so. And then you can move that back for now. Put up the head, which is just his neck spine. And yeah, I really like his head. I think it's simple, but effective. And then we come to this. We're gonna fold the sides out on all of these joints, and then fold it into the head, like so. And then these double jointed right there, you fold it down onto the back, and then these can just fold down for support, and you can push his nose spike down, flattening out the back as much as possible, and then come to these arms. You would have never guessed they are arms. Fold them forward, and then this big clump right here is actually his weapon. So you you just got to slide it up to the top, straighten out his hand, then just flip that out, and that is his axe. Obviously, Arrow did not need a weapon as his hands were just blasters, but he does, so he has a large axe. He does not stand well, but you can actually kind of use these pieces on his back, the second joint that formed the middle of the crest, to prop him up a little bit. And yeah, there is Tug in his robot mode. Articulation is pretty good. These legs just move forward and back. The wrists turn. You could turn this, but you don't really need to. And then this joint moves, and even this joint moves, so he has a bit of a weird double elbow. Same on both sides. And then just his head just looks down and not really up because it's blocked by, this piece. We come to the back. There's these just kind of kickstands that help him hold himself up. But yeah, but besides that, he kind of just has an unbelievably large backpack. But I don't really mind. I think it gives him some nice bulk. But that's kind of just, I needed a place for his head to go. And it looks stupid with a giant crest, so I had to make the crest transform downwards. And it's also not the most secure in the back. But yeah. I like his axe. It's a simple design. I had to make it slide down, and sorry about that. I wanted to incorporate their weapons into their transformation, and I don't really know why I wanted to do that, but sorry, that will not happen again. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I did do that for all of them. His is probably the best because it's already in his hands, so like he doesn't have to kind of just weirdly rip off his tail as a robot, which, spoiler alert, the other two do. But yeah, I think he's my favorite. So there is Tug in his robot mode, and now we can move on to another one. Alright, here is Zilla, the T-Rex. He is the biggest and kind of jankiest of all of them. He has a big boulder tail, which doesn't become a weapon. He's a bit hard to fit completely into frame, but you get the point. I don't know why I did this, but for him, I started using minifigure hands. You can see I use them on his finger claws and also as his smaller four toes, I guess, on his feet. I don't know why. That was just a bit of an experiment. He's very tall. He's kind of the muscle of the group, I would say. Yeah, I like his head. He's got the long snout with red eyes. Simple ball-jointed head. I am very sorry. I keep bumping my camera. Um, but anyway, carefully now, we can also see his hands. He has a bit of wrist movement, and then just up and down shoulder for his tiny T-Rex hands, and then completely ball-jointed legs, so out, forward, and then ankle movement. His head, I already said, turns a little bit, and then can look pretty well up and down. And then his tail is on these weird wire pieces, so it has quite a bit of articulation. And then there is a T-joint here on these clips, so you could move the boulder, but there's really no point. So, yeah. Anyway, now let's get on to transforming him. And I'm just gonna say now, it is very complex. He's the most complex transformation, I think. So please just be patient with me as I try to do this without bumping my camera. Anyway, we can start by folding his legs out to the side and his arms too. This tail is going to make annoying noises and there's no way to stop it. We're going to come to his back and pull out these entire things, which kind of formed his back up. And then you're going to fold that joint there all the way forward, and then head down on the joint, and then that little other joint there. Twist them around, and then pull that forward all the way that it can, and bring what will be his feet down. Here at his feet, well, his back just breaks. You're gonna split that, and then turn his feet around, and then twist the claws. The claws looked weird facing forward, so I made it kind of like a rib cage facing backwards in robot mode. And then straighten that again. Push these two little back spikes just for support, and make the legs flat. His hands right here are a little bit odd. Sorry, I did that without talking. You just fold the arm down like that and push it in. Once again on this side, twist it around, and then just down like that. You could slide it down, but it kind of needs to be all the way back there. And then pull the feet forward just a little bit because, you need to straighten them out. Then pull this piece down, which was connected to the same joint that the tail was. That is his eye. He's kind of a cyclops. And then his hands are the feet of the dinosaur, so just maneuver them around to become his claw-like hands. Boom, just like that. And then come to his tail. You're going to, nope, that was an accident. You're going to slide the clips off. This is his weapon. I could have done it without, I could have made his weapon just his own weapon. Once again, I want to incorporate all of their weapons into their modes. Straighten his legs again. And then we turn to the back. We grab his tail, these clips, and then you're just going to clip them onto his dinosaur hand pieces here. Like so. It can be a little bit weird sometimes. Oops. 1 second. Like that. And then fold his fingers, dinosaur fingers, just up out of the way. We'll turn him around. And then we can put him down for a second. Grab this. You're going to break off this chain and then grab the bottom and just pull it out. That gives it a bit more length. And then just this clip here. You just clip that T-bar in. fold the fingers down so it looks like he's holding it. And 1 second, I gotta try and fix that tube. Like so. And there you have him in his very odd robot mode. He has this big boulder weapon, kind of like a mace, but on a chain, so he just throws it around like Thor's hammer and smashes you. His head is simple. His chest is the dinosaur head. I kind of like to imagine he could just poke it out and just roar at them with his chest. Or he could just break it off. That's fine, too. The legs are simple, ball joint, for everything. So, ankle movement, sorry, and then upper leg movement, and even has a bit of a, he can turn his upper body a little bit, but it's a bit janky. His hands are the same as the feet, so out, bend, that's an odd bend, and then wrist movement, and the head doesn't really look down, but it can look up. So, yeah, sorry, he's very hard to keep into frame. So that's Zilla in his robot mode, and now we can move on to the last one. Now, right here is, he's kind of like a Jurassic Park Velociraptor, because he's not like feathered like the real ones. He's the smallest, but he's also the leader of the group. And he's also probably the simplest and the first one that I built. Some people aren't gonna like his transformation, and I know that. Anyway, I really like his raptor head. It's simple but effective. Articulation, his head moves up, or down, I guess. It doesn't really move up without breaking the joint. His arms are up and down, side to side, and a bit of wrist movement, but I don't really care about that. And then the legs, back, forward, and then weird knee, but it's needed. And then foot motion too, I guess, with these Wolverine claws, which I really like is his feet. And then his tail can move up, but it kind of looks awkward, so I prefer to just keep it down. He's like a speedy little guy, so he just keeps his tail back for running. Woo. Anyway, we can transform him. He is very simple. What you're gonna want to do is put the tail out of the way, and then grab his bottom feet and kind of just pull, and that will split apart these two robot bodies, I guess. Then on this, using stud friction, you're just gonna twist it around, then come down to the feet, straighten them out, and fold it down like that. Turn the arms around, grab the sword, pull it out, fold down that to kind of just be armor, and then the raptor head turns around to become a very nice robot helmet. You can give him the sword to use as a sword, and there he is, Rai in his robot mode. Very simple. It's kind of a classic Beast Wars. Very simple. It's just like dinosaur arms are robot arms, dinosaur legs are robot legs, and then the tail just folds down, becomes a sword, I guess, and then the raptor head is just the robot head backwards, which I really, really like. I also used a old Clone Wars piece, I believe it's from. So he does have that little red dot, which adds just a bit of detail, but so makes him more like a robot, but is hidden in his raptor mode. The sword comes from his tail. Once again, just trying to integrate their weapons, because I never really understood that. If you turn into like a Triceratops with just an axe in your mouth walking around, that would look stupid. Sorry about that. So yeah, he is the leader of the group, and there's not much else to him. He's small, he's much shorter than the others, but I kind of like that about him. Um, Articulation is the same, shoulders up and down, arms out to the side, bit of wrist movement. Legs are just forward and back with still a weird knee. You can fold his leg back now into dinosaur mode, so it looks like he has his foot back for like a kick, or he's like kneeing you in the stomach. But you kind of have to keep them as straight as possible or it looks odd. So yeah, I like it. A short little raptor turns into a still small but taller like warrior robot. The only thing I don't like about him is the back of the head kind of creates an odd gap right there. And I haven't found a way to fix that. Maybe I'll do an update if I do find a way to fix that, but so far I have not. Anyway, group shot time? Alright, that's a nice group shot in their robot forms. Once again, Tug, Rye, Zilla, and Arrow. Overall, Arrow and Rye, rather simple. Tug was a bit more complicated, and then, Zilla was a mess. I like how their robot forms, if I showed them to you, except for, like, the wings on Arrow, you probably wouldn't think they transformed into dinosaurs. I mean, maybe you could see, like, the head on Zilla, too. But besides that, yeah, I really like how these turned out. I'll show, like, a comparison somewhere in here to their dinosaur forms. You can see how much they've changed. But overall, that's it for them. Thank you for 100 subscribers and 100 sub special coming soon. So yeah, see you then.